Hey everybody, Jayborino here, welcome back. Continuing my self-proclaimed Maporino Addendum series where I play sequels, follow-ups, updated maps from the Maporino 2019 series. This is Legacy of Wolves. It was originally submitted by DukeFenix, and this is not a sequel, this is an update to the map, which was the Chapter 1 summons of his Legacy of Wolves campaign. So let's get started. Last time I played the sequel to Raising of the Axe, and I've got a few other ones on my list as well. Alright, Marshal Galen Greywolf, commander of the famous Wolf Regiment and leader of the Imperial forces on the Dromian Warfront, has been recalled by High Lord Darius Nightbane to deal with a pressing issue in the region around the village of Ravensburg. While annoyed, Greywolf knows that the High Lord does not make an order like this on a whim. So I think a lot of stuff's been changed here, and one thing I do know is that he has gotten voice acting for all of the lines instead of just some of them.
I'm glad that you could make it, Lady Starhunter.
What is that elf doing here? This is a strictly human...
General, stay your tongue, lest you find it removed from your mouth. The elves are our allies, and Lady Starhunter's rangers are invaluable assets.
Of course, High Lord.
I apologize for my subordinate's actions, Lady Starhunter. He doesn't realize the value of having allies, it seems.
It is perfectly fine, High Lord. There are many members among my own kind that still find this alliance between our peoples to be foolhardy and unnecessary. I disagree.
Now we just need to wait for one more person, and we can begin discussing this issue. He's one of my most trusted marshals.
You didn't seriously invite that half-elf bastard.
Marshal Greywolf is a valuable soldier and a good leader, General. One that may take your place if you can't put your petty thoughts on our alliances aside. Now, what have you to report from the front, Lady Starhunter?
Ah, Marshal Greywolf. I was beginning to wonder when you would arrive. Come, the High Lord is awaiting us down in the garrison.
Garrison? I thought that Ravensburg was a civilian town.
Well, it was, up until recently. With the increased bandit activity, High Lord Nightbane brought a detachment of the Imperial Army, as well as his personal force, the Dragon Regiment.
Nightbane brought Dragon Regiment into this mess? Maybe this actually is an issue worth calling me from the front.
Most definitely, sir. We've had to increase the town guard here as well, dealing with more than just the occasional bandit before the army came in.
Then I suppose it's a good thing he called for me. We'll get this issue sorted out, Captain. Don't you worry.
I hope you do, Marshal. I hope you do.
Ah, Galen. It is good to see that you arrived safely. I trust that your journey was without issue?
It was, High Lord. However, I have to ask what's going on here. Dragon Regiment hardly ever leaves the capital, and General Steelfist never stops berating non-humans from inside his office.
Why, you little... How dare you insult me like this? I'll have you hung up by your entrails, inhuman.
General, remember what I said, and Marshal, please try not to antagonize him further. We have important business to conduct. I'd like you to meet Lady Elaine Starhunter, the Ranger General of the Elven Military. I've requested her presence today because of the rather pressing issue at hand.
It's a pleasure to meet you both. Now, if it's time to get to business, I already took the liberty of having my lead huntress scout the woods around the town while we were traveling here. Night Whisper, give your report.
Of course, ma'am. As Lady Starhunter mentioned, she sent me ahead of our group to scout the forest to ensure there were no dangers to our trek, and to get a better idea of what we're looking at. During my scouting, I discovered that the local bandits have been growing bolder and attacking caravans along the road, and even striking at villages. I believe the nearby village of Darkfollow may be the next at risk. It's a small town with only a few guards, the perfect place for a bandit clan to strike without fear.
Exactly. This is why I called you here, Marshal. I know that you'll need it on the war front, but right now, I need you to find the location of the bandits' main camp and dispose of them. Then, I want you to check up on Doc Fallow. We'll discuss the issue of redeploying you to the front once you return.
Of course, sir. You can consider it done.
All right. So yeah, all that voice acting was quite well done. Again, for like amateur voice acting for a map put together for a contest, I think is quite good.
I am the Marshal.
And
Yes.
it's also included in the unit responses. So a couple of
check it
things
out.
I noticed that are already different is, number one, I remember saying that the footmen fighting, like the training sound of them constantly attacking each other, it lasted originally through the whole cutscene, and now it's
Consider it
only
done.
at the beginning, and then that's it, which
I'll
I
check it out.
appreciate.
Consider it done.
Marshal Greywolf. Come to aid with the bandit problem, have you? One of our patrols hasn't checked in after investigating the Western Pass. If it isn't too much trouble, could you look for them?
Of course, Captain. I'll look for those missing troops.
All right. Just looking at the level 6 aura here, it looks like it's been nerfed a little bit. I think it originally was like a 60% damage buff or something.
Orders, sir.
And it looks like
I
it's been
understand.
decreased a little bit, but instead it adds some extra armor as well.
Consider it done.
So we're finding
I
lost
understand.
troops, find the missing troops. So this is a
Consider it
mission
done.
1 in what is supposed to be a campaign. It's kind of treating the difficulty that
I
way.
am the
All right, so Grey Wolf was still really good.
I
We start with a
understand.
level of Battle Roar.
Yes.
And right away, I can notice
I'll
that
check it out.
seems like the detail of the map,
course.
like just doodadding, the terraining and doodadding has been
Consider it done.
noticeably
Consider it done.
increased. Just way more detailing for all of this
I'll check
stuff,
it
which is nice to see. Now let's go to Battle Roar here, and then we've got the Chaplain, Holy Light. Holy Light is on a queue.
Orders, sir.
What are you? I think I was probably just a rogue wizard or
Yes.
apprentice
Of course.
wizard, what have you. All right, get him out of there.
I'll check
What
it
do we
out.
have here? Archers, searing arrows.
My blade
So yeah, I'm
is
mostly
ready.
just trying to think back to this when I played it originally. I remember the hero was extremely strong,
Orders, sir.
and he clarified that Grey Wolf could get up to level 6 only for the contest. So we'll see if maybe that's been changed. I'm gonna go with Thunderclap.
Yes.
He
I
was
understand.
allowed to get to level 6 to get his ultimate for the contest, so he can kind of be shown off. Whereas now we'll see if maybe he's capped at like a 2 or a 3. We'll find out.
I'll check it out.
Let's go to Battle Roar here. I don't think a Thunderclap is really that necessary, and we do have, again, this Chaplain back here with Holy Light, which is extremely strong.
My blade is ready.
It's just straight up 200
Yes.
heal, and we can also use that offensively against undead, so we'll see if we'll be fighting any undead in this campaign eventually,
the
or
Marshal.
not. I assume cannot Holy Light himself. Doesn't
If
matter, we
someone
got some more of them,
Seems
so we can do
the
this.
remains of that
Right
patrol.
away.
At
As
least
you
we
wish.
found out what happened Orders, to them. sir. Wretched beast.
At least we found out what happens to them. Okay, so not too many of them are still alive, unfortunately, but that's all right. I actually quite like
I
how
am the
fast he
Marshal.
attacks. I don't know why. It
Consider it
really
done.
sets him apart,
I'll
as
check it
opposed to
out.
just being
Of
he's
course.
he's just the reskinned
I
captain. No,
understand.
not even reskinned. He's just the captain.
Consider it done.
But he's got the Orb of Fire, and
I
the fact
understand.
that he attacks really quickly does sort
I'll check
of
it out.
differentiate him specifically beyond just his typical abilities, which are very similar to, well, they're not really similar to anything. I was going to say Mountain King, but Mountain King doesn't have Shockwave or Battle Roar or Inspiring Aura.
Of course.
There's an Easter egg up here, if I remember correctly.
I understand.
So let's go and get
Consider it
this.
To battle.
I'll leave you alive this time, Forest Troll Berserker. You deserve to live.
Orders, sir.
That be my home,
I'll
you
check it
just
out.
a stroll.
Consider it done.
I appreciate the commitment to the
need?
voices. Right, I don't know
I
how
am
many
the
people voiced however many of these.
I'll check it
It
out.
sounded like the two female voices were two different ladies, and then
Yes, my friend.
it sounds like
My blade
the
is ready.
the voice actor for
I
Grey
am
Wolf
the
does
Marshal.
multiple voices, but not all of them. I'm not really sure though.
Of course.
Okay, so that's where we started.
Consider
We got
it
the
done.
extra troops.
I understand.
Yeah, I think what he did, as far as I can tell, is that he narrowed the pathway so it didn't
Of course.
seem as barren, and I think that's
understand.
good. Like I don't remember if these light
What do you
posts were
need?
there or not, but if they weren't, or rather if they
Consider
were,
it
I didn't
done.
really notice them because there was so much empty space.
I
Now there's way
understand.
less empty space with the use of trees and such.
Consider it done.
So good job there,
I understand. Consider it
and
done.
a lot of nice flowers.
Bandits!
Protect the
understand.
villagers!
I'll check it out.
All right, get in there. Steal all their valuables. Scroll of Restoration is nice, and I'm going to go ahead and continue leveling up. Battle Roar? Here, have this.
What
Thanks
do
for
you
the
need?
assist, Marshal.
I understand.
Not going to come with us, huh?
Consider it done. I understand.
A nice little town here.
Consider
So
it
one thing
done.
I pointed out when I played this
I'll check it
originally
out.
too, and I'd reiterate, is it feels
course.
like, I mean, I would
Consider
really
it
be
done.
shocked if I wasn't correct
Yes.
in saying that this clearly takes a lot
I
of
am the
inspiration from Legends of Arcane, narratively,
Of course.
and also this faction here. The
Consider it
casters
done.
are the same, and honestly, a
Yes.
way that you can differentiate your
I am
faction
the
is
Marshal.
specifically with the casters, so
course.
those are different. But like the, not the I mean, those are just footmen, right? But like Great Claw specifically with this halberd cleaving attack is very reminiscent. Plus, they're talking about the Empire and the Dragon Regiment, stuff like that. Grey Wolf
My blade is
being the
ready.
guy's name.
Consider it done.
And this is the first time I
I'll check-
remember
Sir,
him.
Look, consider those trees have been cut down. Good eye, soldier. Perhaps that's the bandit camp we're looking for. I'll check it out.
Is that the bandit camp
I
we're
am
looking
the
for?
Marshal.
Oh, these trees right here. Cool. All right, let's
I
do it.
understand.
And then we can just heal this guy.
My blade is ready.
No problem. Like this. We're getting poisoned. I don't appreciate that.
I am the marshal. Of course.
But there's definitely an interesting
Is my aid required?
start here narratively
Yes.
and wondering, like, we were
I
called here to
understand.
clear out these bandits,
Of
but
course.
again, it seems like something
Play them all.
a lot more
Found
sinister
the
is
bandit
happening.
camp. Defend yourselves.
Okay, he's bubbled.
Yes, my
Run away, please. They really like going for these archers, so I'm just going to continue moving them away. No, 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 no! He's done it. The absolute madman.
I am.
Haven't lost anybody. Kill that bandit lord. Boom. Gauntlets.
need?
That's good.
My blade is ready.
Now that he's dealt with,
Wretched beast. Let's move on to Darkfollow. Yes.
Wretched beasts.
They will taste my steel.
Shift Q all of these up. Yeah, I remember. I think that this is like a broken bridge, but it's interesting because it's pinging us to go there, so it's like so that you can see. I guess the player is able to kind of experience
Of course.
the extra dialogue of the guy being like, "Hey, the bridge is broken," and then you have to
Consider
go
it done.
around.
I'll check it out.
Speaking head in
I
here.
understand.
But yeah, like just the addition of the way that the path is structured with the lanterns and just the ferns and the flowers and the trees really tightening up the pathway makes a world of difference. It's not basically you've made the terrain less glaringly empty versus like I don't look at this and think like, oh, it's so pretty, but I also don't look at it and think it's so empty. So I think the key is making sure that people don't think that your terrain stands out in a negative way versus it standing out in a positive way, if that makes sense. And you've definitely elevated it to that level.
Marshal Greywolf, I heard you've been brought
course.
to this region to deal with the bandit issue. It's good to see you again, sir.
Likewise, Morrison. It's been too long.
Yes, my friend.
However, the bandit issue
I am
has
your
been dealt
servant.
with, and now we're going to check in on Darkfollow.
I see. Well, unfortunately, the bridge has been destroyed from the other side of the river. We're repairing it now, but it will take some time for us to complete repairs. You're likely in a hurry, so if you'd like, you can take the alternate route through the shallows of the riverhead down the road. I must warn you, it's become infested with Murloc raiders since the bridge was built.
As much as I'd love to wait around, I'll just have to take that route. Thank you for the warning, Morrison. Keep safe, friend. Yes?
I'll try, sir, but I didn't join the Imperial Army to be safe.
My blade is
May the
ready.
gods watch over you.
Okay, I probably could have just
Consider
left
it
and the
done.
dialogue would have continued, but oh well, that's fine. Okay, so what do we have here? By the way, we are
Orders,
capped
sir.
at level 3. You know,
My
letting this
blade
guy
is
get to
ready.
level 6 in the first
I
mission
understand.
was a little egregious, but again, I recognize that was for, you know, more of a showcase for the contest.
Orders, sir? Of course.
All right, and I do
understand.
remember there was a holdout section that was
Consider it
actually
done.
pretty tough. So
Of
we'll see
course.
how that
I'll check it
goes. I've got some decent items here. What is this? A scroll of mana.
Of course.
I don't really need to use that right now, but, you know, maybe
I am the
soon.
Marshal.
Let's thunderclap it. It doesn't hurt to save these. As long as I have inventory slots, it really doesn't hurt.
Orders, sir. To battle. They will taste my steel.
To just hold on to those scrolls. Is there any reason to have... Yes, okay, there's a... I was going to say, is there anything here? There is something in the huts.
Of course.
I was going to ask, hey, is there anything in huts?
Orders,
and
sir.
then I remembered that there was a
Done.
troll with a hut
course.
that had healing wards in it, but that was more of an Easter egg. But the fact that we just got a manual of health
check it
from the
out.
hut is also indicative that there
course.
may be things in the huts later on.
Consider it done.
But yeah, this hero is still quite strong. His survivability isn't super great, but it's still pretty good. And the fact that we can do Holy Light is really, really strong on him. One thing that I'd point out too, is just sort of a separate aside, is looking at these chaplains. Number one, Holy Light is their basic ability is extremely strong. Banish also extremely strong. Both of these abilities are heroic abilities. They were taken from Paladin and Blood Mage specifically. Whereas
there's no guards. I'll check it out. Something isn't right here.
Ails you?
Whereas Rejuvenation, on the other hand, I don't know why anyone would use Rejuvenation unless the mana cost is greatly reduced compared to Holy Light.
Yes, my liege.
So I think a different mastery ability makes sense. On the other hand, maybe these two just need to be nerfed, because these are both, again, very strong abilities.
Orders, sir.
All
I
right.
understand. Of course.
No guards, but we're not technically in the village yet.
Consider it done.
I do like the little narrative structure, sort of having like the outlying guard towers before you get to the village itself, which is in here.
The orcs have returned. I understand. Orcs! I'll check it out. To arms, brothers! Keep the villagers safe!
Okay, let's roar. Let's stomp. Let's start healing our allies. That's all I'm really focused on. I just buffed everybody, and my allies actually cast. My allied chaplains actually will heal their units as well, which is quite nice. I'm pretty sure we lost nothing. Solid.
Captain, what the hell are orcs
doing
the
here?
Marshal. What do you need?
I don't know
I
where they came
understand.
from, sir, but they attacked Darkfallow only a couple nights ago. We're all that's left of the town guard. The rest were slaughtered before we could even react to the threats.
Grab your equipment and rally your men. You're coming with us to investigate.
Of course, Marshal. My men are at your disposal.
Is someone...
Okay, now we have more chaplains.
Yes,
Let's
my
move these
friend.
guys over here so that we can pop
My
our...
blade is ready.
Well, never mind. I was going to pop my mana scroll. But just forget it.
This is a massacre. We're going to make the orcs pay for this. We need to inform Nightbane about this. Captain, send a messenger to Ravensburg immediately. We're staying here to investigate further.
Of course, sir. You there, mage. Send a message to High Lord Nightbane with that magic of yours.
Sir, it is not that simple. It will take some time for the message to reach the High Lord.
I don't care. Get it done.
Look, more orcish raiders.
The humans have returned. Slay them all in the water's name.
Okay, let's quick save. One thing that I definitely ponder is what the whole idea of what's happening here. You know, like what's the situation? Like, why were we called here? I brought this up earlier, but it's vaguely reminiscent of Odyssey, and I hesitantly put things on that level of
I am your servant.
Yes.
of narrative intrigue. But the reason I say that is, like, you know, you start and it's a fairly benign. It's a fairly
The orcs press
benign.
the attack. Slay the beasts in the Emperor's name. My blade is ready.
Fairly benign conflict, right? You're sent there to like quell a rebellion, just like here we were sent to kill some bandits. But it was highly suspect. Like, why did they deploy us?
Yes.
Of all people, and you've got Nightbane here, and you've got the Dragon Regiment, where they said specifically that Dragon Regiment really only exists to defend the capital, so, like, why is it here? So, I mean, I don't know how planned out the story is, but it has potential to become more complex and revisit, you know, again, a fairly innocuous beginning. You know, it's
Orders, sir?
fairly,
I'll check it out.
Is my aid
I guess, neutral. In the sense, like, hey, you're sent here to kill some bandits, and then it turns out that there were some
They
orcs
strike
here
us
too.
from 2 angles, brothers. Hold your ground.
It's a lot of stuff. All right, let's roar and then stomp. Okay, heal here. Let's move our chaplains away, please.
What deal?
So it may remain fairly simplistic, and it's like, okay, well, it turns out there were orcs, and now you spend the whole campaign killing the orcs too. But like, you know, based on the fact that there is some setup here around why all these different, very highly decorated factions are here in this relatively small town. You know, why? I should say, like, why is that the case? Definitely has a lot of potential to be elaborated on, which I think is cool.
Yes.
Okay, back up here.
I am the marshal.
Let's stomp them. These groups are fine. And again, I'm just kind of I'm keeping an eye out on all my individual units. My hero is absolutely
More of the
fine.
beasts. Cut them down.
Okay, this is a lot. As long as we keep healing where we see we need healing, we should be okay. Let's just move you away. I'm out of mana, unfortunately. Let's use a scroll.
It's holy. There's so many. Stand your ground, men. If we die for Lycosa.
That's right, you tell him. 20 seconds. Was this made harder? Keep it up, buddies. We got more scrolls, too. Heal each other.
My blade is ready.
Let's use healing wards. Oh, my healers got stuck here. No, no, no. No, save them before they all die in the cutscene. I think I did really well there, actually. I think you're meant to lose a lot more.
You did well, Galan. I'm just glad that I made it in time. However, this battle is far from over. The orcs have an encampment just down the road, and it seems their entire clan awaits us in challenge. We are going to meet that challenge.
You have the support of the Elven Ranger Corps, High Lord. We'll show those green-skinned barbarians their folly in attacking the Empire.
Though it pains me to work alongside these inhumans, the orcs are a much greater threat. I've mobilized every soldier that I was ready to move out or already on patrol, including Captain Morrison here.
Then it seems the field of battle is set, Marshal. Will you join us in this final push?
My men are battered.
That's not me.
But we're far from broken, sir.
The audio
We
recording
have
is
our
someone
support.
getting
Good.
Discord
We
notifications.
strike in just a moment. Meet with your men and join us in our assault.
Oh.
I am the marshal.
Okay,
I'll check it out.
look at that. Look how many we saved. It even saved
Yes.
our healing ward.
Orders, sir.
Okay.
Imperial Army, attack!
I'll check it out.
Oh,
Of course. Consider it done.
okay. Let's
I'll
see if
check
he
it out.
goes. Okay, he's going
I
this time.
understand.
Previously,
Of
he did
course.
not. So let's just
Consider
run
it
in and
done.
roar. Roar. And I could use my items, but let's pretend like we were playing a campaign. We wouldn't want to use our items unless we absolutely had to. And the orcs are gonna get absolutely slaughtered. Dragoon. So again, that's why I'm suspicious that I think that there's probably a plan for this story to branch out significantly, and I doubt it would be as simple as, hey, there's, you know, an orc conflict. I mean, it might be, but you know, I feel like it's gonna boil down to more conspiracies on the human factions level than anything else. Just a guess.
What do you think?
Okay, roar it up. Do these Elven Sentinels have defend? That's what it looked like for a brief moment. Alright, Kazzle, Dark Eye. So, I mean, I think this was just a blatant improvement over the original map that I played. This was very solid. You know, a lot of people sometimes, too, when they look at a Mission 1 micro mission, they might think it's too easy. Honestly, this holdout is tricky. You could very easily lose your hero if you're not actively using your chaplains to heal, as well as use your items that you've picked up through that point as well.
Finally, the orcs have been dealt with. However, this was only a small force in comparison to what is to come.
Sir, if I may, this is a clear declaration of war from those greenscales. Gladly lead the charge against them.
While I appreciate the zeal, General, I have something else in mind. Captain Mawson, you are required over here, soldier. Yes, sir. How can I be of service? Captain Mawson, as of this moment, I'm giving you an official field promotion to the rank of Major, and giving you command of your own detachment of the Imperial Army, henceforth known as the Phoenix Regiment. I am also placing you and your forces under the direct control of Marshal Greywolf. I'm honored, sir. I will make the Emperor proud. I know you will, son. Galen,
Yes, High Lord.
I'm sending you to deal with this matter. You are to lead a strike force into Orcish territory and establish a foothold for the rest of the army to make a push against their main outposts.
You may also make use of my lead huntress, Dahlia Nightwhisper, and her forces.
Of course, sir. Thank you both for the reinforcements. It will be critical in our success until the rest of Wolf Regiment arrives from the front.
General, prepare your forces to assist them once we received word that they have established a foothold in the Orc territories.
If I had to guess where this would go, is this clearly xenophobic general's not going to be there when we need him, right? Kind of a Duran situation. I mean, that was a totally different context, but the whole idea is you're relying on someone kind of guarding your flank, and then he just won't be there. But in any case, again, I feel like the setup is there for the narrative to take us to an interesting place. I feel like the map wasn't super easy, assuming that you were willing to do the optional objective and explore a little bit to get some of the good scrolls and healing wards on the map, and then use those in the holdout section, where you could definitely lose. And even though I had a lot of units, you could definitely see how if you aren't actively using your hero abilities and healing, it could go downhill pretty fast. Because that's the one thing I would say is, even for a Mission 1 on a normal difficulty, I would be remiss to see, I have 12 units and I can literally just A-click through the entire map. So the fact that there was a map event at all that required some sort of mechanical challenge to it is nice to see in the first mission. Now, I think the real test is going to see how the campaign handles macro missions and how those are approached, and the difficulty balance. Are those going to be like Arcane? Are they going to be like giant in scope? Just the way that this one ended makes me think that, again, that inspiration from Arcane with very large-scale battles where micro in battles themselves, besides using your heroes, really is not the focus, and you're building very, very large armies with increased upkeep limits and sending them in waves against the enemy, stuff like that. So, I don't know. Again, that's up to the creator. Everyone has different preferences. I would say my personal preference, and this is not advice, but this is just me kind of explaining what I think is, it would be cool to see a campaign that ramped its way up to that, as opposed to like how Arcane does it, which is right from the beginning, every map is like that, every single one, and there isn't much of a ramp into it. Whereas to see a campaign start small and get there would be also interesting, but also you have to build a narrative around it. It doesn't make sense to have your gameplay scale up that way in terms of scope, just like the size of battles and how they're presented. Because if it makes sense to have large-scale battles right at the beginning, based on the story you're trying to tell, then I suppose you need to acquiesce to that first. In any case, this was cool, and it was nice to see the improvements made specifically around the terrain, the addition of voice acting. The only last minor thing that stood out to me that I noticed is, one of the audio files had Discord DM sounds coming in through it, and then also some of the dialogue boxes don't match up exactly with what's being spoken. A couple minor typos, so just, give those a real quick proofread. But at the end of the day, that's honestly, we're talking about, you know, custom-made maps, that kind of stuff. Unless it's extremely prevalent and constant, it's really not negatively affecting anything. But just pointing it out if you want to make those fixes. All right, thanks everyone for watching. Leave your feedback below. I'll move on to another Maporino addendum map next time. See you later. Bye now.